How you doing, Hoop fans? I'm here with Kill and Chris Caban, and we're here, obviously live. We'll talk about some NBA, talk about NBA second round of the playoffs. But first, breaking news, just fresh. Mark Jackson's just been sacked from the Golden State Warriors. Kill, what do you think about this, man?
I don't know what they was thinking, man. They should have kept him. He led them to the deepest run in the playoffs they've been in a real long time. I think since Baron Davis was there when they beat Dallas in that 1-8 matchup. Remember that matchup?
Yeah. Was that Don Nelson then?
Yeah, that was Don Nelson. I don't understand, man. I mean, I guess they felt they could have did better with the talent they have. I mean, I guess they felt like he underachieved, so.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed. Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed, though. I'm disappointed in Golden State.
I agree, man. I mean, go on, Chris. Go ahead.
I think it was a dumb move by Golden State, honestly. I agree with everybody on the panel. Because why you going to get fired? Y'all ain't done nothing since he got there, really.
That's Jerry West.
Is Jerry West the general manager?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't listen, man, it's the sort of league is the hierarchy. Mark's a wild outlaw boy. He won't do things his way, and you know that's the way his personality is. And to be honest with you, the players like him. He's a coach, but like the management, you know, he rubbed them. If you rubbing the management the wrong way, they're the one paying the bills, man, and they want to be. I guess if you're man, I can't have problem with being in my house and they being disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this is what he's done a good job. And he's got a good resume, and he can move on now. There's a possible job opening for the Knicks, but Steve Kerr has been offered that position, and they're talking about maybe Steve Kerr going to the Golden State Warriors. What's you guys' takes on that?
I don't know. I think what Mark Jackson provided for them was a little better than what Steve Kerr can do. I mean, one of the main reasons why they fired him, I believe, is not the main reasons they fired him, but the reason why I don't think they should have fired him because it's not really that many coaches out there, man. Not right now, at least. I mean, everybody tied up unless you try to get one of those Van Gundys for the type of talent that they have right now. They are ready to go team now, so for them to fire him was a big step back for them. I don't think Steve Kerr will take that job. I think he'll lean more towards New York and be under the tutelage of Phil Jackson. So,
all right, Chris, what do you think?
I think that was a dumb move because you're not going to get a coach better than, like he said, everybody's tied up, and you ain't going to get a coach better than Jackson right now, unless you bring Van Gundy out. And I don't think Van Gundy. I don't know if anybody offered Van Gundy that job.
I don't know. I don't know Jerry West's relationship with either of the Van Gundys, but I would think they would be the only people right now that would be suitable for that job. I mean, everybody else. I mean, you still got Byron Scott out there, and a couple of more candidates. Larry Brown. I don't know. They may try to go get a college coach though. Honestly,
looking at Kevin Ollie, man. That's what people are talking about. Kevin Ollie. But I don't think he will leave Connecticut. You just settled in there, and they play pretty well. So I don't think they're. But my take is with Mark Jackson and the ways the Knicks would suit him. But Chris alluded to that Phil Jackson might be telling to the offense, but Phil Jackson is not supposed to be telling another coach how to run the team. You know, he's just putting people in places. Maybe but Steve Kerr hasn't done anything. Mark Jackson shown that he could take a team, but the New York Knicks are not young. I think they need someone experienced. If they get
but Phil Jackson's not gonna. Phil Jackson got his way of things he like to do, and he's gonna run that triangle in New York. I guarantee you. He's
not coaching, so he can't be running something. He's
gonna be doing like Pat Riley. He's gonna really be coaching from upstairs.
Oh but the understudy of Pat Riley, understanding Pat Riley's system, but he doesn't run a Pat Riley system. What's his name again? The coach from Miami. He doesn't play like Pat Riley. He's got some things in there, but he runs it how he wants to.
Pat Riley running that offense. They even said.
Yeah, you can tell that you could tell how Miami. Remember when they first got together, how stagnant they were on offense because they kept LeBron and Dwayne Wade high at the top of the key, so they had a lot of struggles when they did that. So, but you could tell Pat Riley kind of implemented his style to what they like to do. Like it's more suited to their athleticism now. Like
I
don't see them struggle as much.
As a coach myself, yeah, like you hire a coach and that's his job. He knows what he's doing, and if he doesn't, he gets sacked. I can't believe that. I feel that you get you serve your apprenticeship, but you're going to do things your way. To me, a way of looking at, I don't think the offense is like Pat Riley's. Cause Pat Riley likes to run a structured offense, like point guard thing, and running through the point guard. The thing, Spoelstra's thing to me is a bit more fluid. But we could argue, disagree. But I feel like Phil Jackson with Steve Kerr, I feel like, I don't know if the play, because at the end of the day, the players have to play for the coach, and they don't know, the general manager's there, but in my thing, I don't know if he's got a strong enough person. I mean, Jason Kidd's doing a good job over there in the Nets, in the Brooklyn Nets over there, so we're going to see. But, all right, so that's our take on that. So we move to the next topic, the Rookie of the Year. What do you know about that, Cleo?
Michael Carter-Williams.
Yeah.
He did pretty well. I mean, the 76ers as a team struggled, but he was a bright spot, for them as far as this year is concerned, moving in the future. He led all rookies in scoring, I believe. He had a big impact earlier in the season. I think towards the back end of the season, he kind of tailed off a little bit. But nonetheless, I mean, they still got a bright spot there in Philly. I don't know exactly what their moves are in free agency to try to build around him, if they will build around him. But as of right now, I mean, they got a positive future, in my opinion, because I think he'd be a dynamic player, especially in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm. You know who the runners-up were?
Huh?
Who the runners-up were? Who was close to being rookie? Was it far between? Did he just do that?
I didn't see anybody else mentioned, so I imagine he kind of won in a landslide.
All right, cool, man. I didn't know too much about him, to be honest, right? So I'm glad you're over here. So, I mean, you tell us on that one. Chris, you got anything to say about the Rookie of the Year?
No, I don't really. He won it, but I don't really care next.
All right, cool. All right, so we're going to talk about another one. We're going to talk about the MVP. So, Chris, you're going to start on this one. Go ahead, Chris.
I think it was more better suited players that could have got a chance of winning the MVP. I think the MVP is more on names now. It ain't really who done what for the team.
You don't think Kevin Durant should have got MVP?
There's a lot of people that played good that could have got the MVP this year, I thought.
Yeah, go ahead and tell us then.
I think the dude from Portland, he had an MVP, the point guard. He had an MVP season.
You gonna name his name?
Damian Lillard.
Do you think Damian Lillard should be? You don't think LeBron?
He had an MVP season. I ain't say he should have won, but that says a lot of teams that had Kevin Durant. There's a lot of guys in the playoffs that played good. That had LeBron James. LeBron James did better than KD to me.
All right, cool. Well,
I don't really like LeBron James.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I'm gonna chime in a bit. Go ahead, Curtis.
In my opinion, I think he should have won it because what the NBA trying to do, they actually wanted to give it to him last year, but LeBron James kind of, went into a whole nother gear. But they wanted to give it to Kevin Durant last year because they need a rival for LeBron James, and they feel like Kevin Durant will be that rival in the Western Conference since Kobe Bryant is about to leave. So they need somebody else to market on that side of the fence, and what other better player than KD to market? I think he did have an MVP caliber year. Like Chris said, it could have been other people who could have won it. I think LaMarcus Aldridge for Portland made a stronger case than Lillard did, even though Lillard did play well too. So, I mean, and then of course you had LeBron James. He had a more consistent second half of the season, so they could have went that way. But I think they needed a new face, to represent the MVP. So Kevin Durant deserved it, in my opinion. I mean, they could have went to three other people, but I still think they made the right decision in giving it to him. And plus, it helped the market into the NBA too.
Yeah. I think for all the reasons you just said that, I'd have to agree with you. And like you said, they wanted to give it last year. LeBron did turn it up, and he definitely deserved it. And, yeah, why not give it to KD? I mean, people like a good rivalry in case. And we like talking about, I mean, before it used to be LeBron and Kobe. Now, obviously, we've got LeBron and KD. Why not give it to him? I think he deserved it in a minute. But anyway, we're going to talk about yesterday's performances. So we're going to jump straight into it. Hold on 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Let's get up on the screen. Because yesterday's playoff games were pretty good, man. And me and Chris, we had our picks and stuff like that. But I ain't gonna get into Chris straight away here. So you guys, all right. So the playoff games on the screen. So all right. So Chris, the first game we saw yesterday was the first game we saw was the Clipper game, innit? No, the Clipper game was the last game. It was the Pacers. The Pacers. Washington. So Chris, go ahead.
I pick the Pacers, man. Pacers is disappointing me. I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. I mean, the inside game has disappeared. I don't know what's going on.
That's all you got to say
They
about
look. I just don't understand. I don't know what they're doing.
it. Yeah.
I've been trying to give.
You pick the
I
Pacers, Chris.
don't know what to say about this.
Yeah,
Man.
you pick the Pacers. I mean, you picked the Pacers for a reason, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, to be
But
honest,
I thought it was a bad matchup with the Hawks, but they doing it again. I think this might just. I don't know what.
I guess Chris.
I think this game over here, but a lot of people ain't knocking their shots now.
All right. I mean, all right, kiddo. All right, Chris. Thanks, man. Go ahead, kiddo.
I think Indiana in trouble. Washington presented a different element than what the Hawks presented. I mean, they did have Jeff Teague, who was probably the only guard that really scored consistently in that series. That's what gave Indiana the most trouble. I think with Washington, they score a lot better than the Atlanta do. Chris said it yesterday. They kind of had the same style as the Hawks. They're just a little bit better in scoring. I did have Indiana winning this series because I feel like they're a little more seasoned as far as their playoffs appearances is concerned. This is Washington's first time under John Wall and Bradley Beal, of course. But I feel like they're in trouble, man. I feel like Washington's guards can create nightmares for George Hill and the other guard for Indiana. And I just don't feel like they could score enough. I feel like the role players for Indiana really don't really do a whole lot. You know what I mean? Like they'll come in, and to me, Indiana's biggest problem, they defense. They never really was a high scoring team. It's just they defense kind of kept them afloat. So, you know, people really didn't focus too much on their offense. But when you had Paul George struggling, who was their leading scorer, when he struggles, the whole team struggles. So I just feel like if he don't score at least 30 points a game in this series, they will lose to Washington.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Well, my take is that I think the team goes how Roy Hibbert goes. If Roy Hibbert ain't having a good game, the team ain't in a good game because it makes it very hard. I mean, if Roy Hibbert has a good game, then that means you have to, the whole defense collapses down on him. And what happens with Roy Hibbert now is that he basically had no points. He had no points of one rebound. He was fucked because he get in foul trouble, and because of that, John Wall just opened it up. I mean, when it's an all open game, they're out there sinker. There's no defense, interior defense, so he could go in at will, and it was hitting medium range flows. And Chris Paul, was it Paul George? I don't know what happened to Paul George. He didn't turn up, and they got embarrassed there on their home court. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I understand why Chris picked them though, but for me, I picked Washington, and they came through. I mean, I like free flowing team, and Washington they're just playing cool. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, but. Man, right now they have to make it clear it's all about adjustments. So I'm interested to see what adjustments. But the best adjustment is the adjustment of Roy Hibbert's head. That's what it needs to be.
What I think need to happen is
what I'm saying, Chris. Yeah, the best adjustment of Roy Hibbert's head. Yeah, because in my opinion, if Roy Hibbert doesn't come to play, this season is going to be long, and then they're going to get blown up. Go ahead, Chris.
I think they need to change the lineup a little bit. I think I'll take David West out and put Scola in just for this matchup.
Yeah.
But starting, yeah, you think that? Yeah. Well, I mean that's some sort of adjustment. But I'll tell you what, you can put whoever you want, power forward, whatever. But if Big Roy's not playing, he ain't good because you got a guy who was talked about one of the best players, one of the candidate player of the year and stuff like that, man. He was in the candidate for MVP, I swear, last year. He was doing last year, but when he gets to the playoffs, I guess it's a mental block, man. I mean, when I was watching the Georgetown game against Ohio State, Ohio, back in Greg Oldham and that was a real good game. The same thing happened, and he's got in foul trouble. I don't know what it is, man. He just lost. I don't know. He needs to find his head, and hopefully he comes to play and makes that series interesting. But John Wall, man, is looking spectacular, and this is where people come to pay. This is where people get paid for. This is how you get your big contract. And John Wall's been signed to a big contract, and he's earning every minute.
Not only that, the Wesley Gortat is a good ass center. He's underrated.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to understand, if your best players are playing 100%, it makes things easier. So it make all Gortat and all them other guys, they'll get all their little chips in. But if he's their best player and he's putting it in, him and who's the other guy who's doing some damage? Dillard? What's his name again?
No,
the other guy for the Washington. Bradley Beal's killing them. You see, he's trying to get a look, man. This is where you have to play. This is how you get your money. This is how you get your big contract, and this is how you get signed to other teams, man. This is how you make your money. So you need to turn it up in the players because everybody's watching. All right, we're gonna move
Not
on.
only Bill was doing some Trevor Ariza was
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, but your best player was playing at ultimate. If your best player is playing like that, then it's gonna make everyone come in. You know what I'm saying? So like Roy Hibbert, he's the best player, and he was off. I mean, you got like I said, Paul George. He plays really good, but you need Roy Hibbert to do his thing.
Yeah, you need Roy Hibbert to play good on defense, and you need Paul George to play well on offense.
Then he gets open. Yeah, exactly. So he gets his inside outside shot. All right, so we're gonna move on to the other matchup where Chris got the better of me, unfortunately. So we've got Oklahoma Thunder versus LA Clippers. All right, Chris, go ahead. Go and give it to me, Chris. Go ahead.
Okay. What's your point guard? The point guard matchup what killed y'all last night. Westbrook don't play defense. Westbrook don't play defense. Y'all was leaving a lot of guys open, and the Clippers, they a good shooting team from behind the 3-point line. We got JJ Redick. We got JJ Redick. Matt Barnes was giving y'all the business. Who else we had? Chris Paul had 4 3-pointers in the first half.
Jamal Crawford gave him nightmares too. He came in and jumped a quick 17 on there. So
like y'all, they didn't play defense at all last night.
they didn't. They didn't come out with no energy at all. And it seemed like those 3-pointers really sucked what little energy they tried to muster up out of them immediately. The closest they got was 15 points once the Clippers jumped out to that big lead. The Oklahoma City just seemed like they wasn't ready for the game, man. Like they didn't have no energy, and they was at home, and the crowd never was really into the game. So that was a real good win by the Clippers, man. They really set the tone in this series. I think it'll go 7 because I think Kevin Durant will have a couple big moments in the series. But overall, I still think the Clippers is a deeper team, and I think they'll prevail because Oklahoma City's bench is a little suspect at times, and I think they go through lapses in series. I mean, last series they went through a few lapses where they shouldn't have. So I think in this series, with Jamal Crawford and JJ Redick and players like that coming off the bench for the Clippers, they'll provide more offense where Oklahoma City's bench players really don't score that many points. So interesting series nonetheless.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, that's got your two takes. So my take on this game, on this series, I honestly thought the Clippers was definitely going to lose. I thought some of the stuff they got through, and I definitely thought that the stuff they've been through, obviously with the owner of the Don Sterling, I definitely thought that their heads wouldn't be in the right place. But hey, credit to the coach, man. What's his name again? Doc Rivers. Credit to the coach, Doc Rivers. He got them playing, man. He got them playing and got them calm. Chris Paul turned in a tremendous performance. He tied the threes with Ray Allen, the most threes in a game with Ray Allen and who else? I think it's Rex Chapman, 9 threes in a game in title. Like Chris said, he banged like 4 in the first half, and he played tremendously. And like I said, if your best players come to play, it makes it easier. Blake Griffin was spectacular. He had all the mid-range jump shots. Deontay Jordan, it was getting easy look because they're doubling down on Blake Griffin, and it was a clinic, man. It was a clinic. It was an exciting game. But the Oklahoma Thunder, man. What I want to say about them is that Westbrook needs to play better D. Like Chris, I agree with Chris. He needs a contract in the D. I don't know what happened to Stepanosha because he usually plays better defense. He's usually their best defender, but it looked like they were getting eaten. And KD. He was doing what he's ever, but the rest of the play, like I said, the KD and Westbrook, they're the best players. They were trying their best, but for some reason, it looked like they were missing something, man. And Harden's gone for a long while, but it looks like they're missing something. I think the Clippers, they just look on the thing. If the Clippers play the way they're playing, I don't care, man. Even though Kevin Durant has been named the MVP of the season, man, it's gonna be a long half season. And to be honest with you, where I see the adjustments here. I think you're going to play KD down low. I think if you play KD down low, then he can try and get a lot of fouls and get Deontay Jordan and Blake Griffin in foul trouble, and that way you can attack them. I mean, if you could just play on the perimeter, then I think it's easier for him. It's down low where the Clippers have done the most damage. Most of their scoring was in the paint, and when they doubled down and Chris Paul was out there killing it on the outside, and he was playing tremendously, and they pulled it away, man. So that was a really good series, and like I said, one to the Clippers, and it looks like, man, they're gonna make adjustments from now on, but we're gonna see. All right, so we're gonna move on to tonight's matchups. All right, so we got the first game we got is the Miami Heat versus the Brooklyn Nets. Cleo, you go ahead, man.
Well, I think this will be the more intriguing matchup in the playoffs in the second round. It's basically Boston Celtics versus Miami because they got most of the same players. I think that the rest that Miami had, when they swept Charlotte was good, especially for Dwayne Wade because he needs to be key in this series. I feel like Joe Johnson can exploit that matchup if he posts Dwayne Wade up most of the series. The Paul Pierce LeBron James series, I think Paul Pierce is a little up there in age, so he won't be able to stand in front of LeBron James like he used to. I think LeBron James should average somewhere around 27 points per game in this series. As far as the point guard matchup, Darren Williams needs to have a better series against Mario Chalmers. I feel like Brooklyn can really exploit that matchup with Mario Chalmers or Norris Cole. If he has an impact series, then it'll definitely go 7. But if he doesn't really impact the series, I think the series will go 6, 4-2 Miami.
Okay, great. Chris, go ahead.
I agree. They need to Darren Williams need to play him like he played in the regular season because, as you know, he could post up Chalmers or the other point guard.
Norris Cole, yeah.
He could post him up easy because that's how they beat him in the regular season.
Yeah.
The shooting guard, he's 6'8", 245. He can post Dwayne Wade up at will.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like matchup problem. I think it's going to be a lot of matchup problems. But I think not Houston, but I think Miami Heat will beat them easy though because of the age factor.
Yeah. Well, Q, who you picking again?
I'm going Miami 4-2. I don't think Darren Williams will be consistent enough. I think he's the X factor in the series, so I don't think he'll be consistent enough throughout the duration of the playoffs. So Miami 4-2.
I mean, we're getting by this game by game. So tonight, who's getting this game?
Okay. Oh, I think Miami will win tonight. I think the rest definitely helped Miami. Like I said, it helped Dwayne Wade, especially for his matchup tonight going against Joe Johnson. I don't know if they'll match him up all night on Joe Johnson, considering, like Chris said, the size factor. But I think Miami will win. I think it'll be close, but I think Miami will win comfortable, at least by 8 to 10 points.
Yeah. I mean, both of you got some good points, man. My take on this is that Miami are fresh. They're defending. I don't for the Nets. The Nets, if this is the Nets, like the key components, yeah. First off, their center's out. He's injured, right? Kevin Garnett, I've seen him play, and to be honest with you, like he's way not himself, right? He's sporadic, right? And so you basically going with Darren Williams and Joe Johnson, and it's not enough. It's not enough. I can't see them dealing with. There's no one on the team could do with LeBron James, right? That's the first off, in my opinion. Then you got Chris Paul's playing tremendously, and Dwayne Wade he doesn't have to do too much. You said, and then Chalmers could give Darren Williams troubles. I just think it's too much. Miami, I see them beating them. Like the first half will probably be a balance, but the Miami will pull away. I just see them pull away. They're fresh. Yeah, and you understand the Nets had a hard series with the Toronto. I didn't even think they were going to win. They came back and beat them. They came and beat them. That took a toll. That took some wear and tear on the whole of the front line. And Miami's just fresh waiting, man. I see them just ripping the first 2 games, but I'm gonna go game by game, and I think Miami gonna win tonight. So
I'm going left. I think I'm going left. I'm going with Brooklyn.
Yeah, you going Brooklyn? Yeah.
Brooklyn.
All right, that's good. That's good. Something for me to burn you about, boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You burn me with the Clippers,
right? It's one game, Chris. It's only one game. It's one game. All right, we're gonna move on to the Spurs. San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trailblazers. Chris, you gonna start?
Oh yeah. I'm going with Portland.
You gonna go with Portland?
I'm going with Portland. I just see so many matchups that Portland can take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Tim Duncan gonna give people problems. He'll give some people problems too.
Okay. All right, is that it, Chris? Yeah.
Yeah, I just think they a lot quicker. They're gonna play up tempo. They're a lot quicker than San Antonio. I think they're gonna outrun They're gonna run San Antonio out the building this first game.
All right.
Blowouts.
All right, Chris. All right, that's cool. Pretty good prediction. Go ahead, Kyle.
I think Portland will beat them tonight. I think Damian Lillard, if he forced Tony Parker to have to play him, that's really going to slow Tony Parker down on the offense. Uh, as far as the LaMarcus Aldridge, I don't see anybody on the Spurs that can guard him at all. So I think it's a good matchup, though. I think this series will be a 7-game series. But as far as tonight's game, I just think Portland they'll run amok over them. I think they're gonna come out fast, and San Antonio will be playing catch up the whole game.
Okay. Well, my take on the whole thing is that this game's about changing of the guards, man. Portland for years, used to be the kings of the West. They used to always battle with the Lakers back in the days. I mean, I'm going back years. But right now, San Antonio always been the top team, one of the top 1-2 teams in the West, always. I mean, the Thunder's there, but definitely, right? Now, Portland, if they have to make a mark, they need to do it tonight. I feel if San Antonio take the first game, it's going to knock the air out the building, and I think Portland are going to be crushed because you got to understand, San Antonio got experience. They've been there. Parker, Ginobili, Duncan, they've been there, experienced. Nothing's going to phase them. Even if they're down 1, it's not going to phase them. But if the Portland are down 1, that's going to be a big blow on their whole thing. You know, they've been playing comfortably. They've been doing what they want to do. So I think there's more pressure on the Portland Trailblazers at the minute to win this game. Even though I'd like the Portland Trailblazers to win, and I was going to pick them before Chris, but just to make it different, man, I can't go with them. I'm going to go with San Antonio Spurs. Just because, this to do with the experience and to do with, I feel like, say, they might just nip away game 1. They'll nip away game 1 and we'll see. I think Portland is a good pick. You can go either way. This first game is 50-50. You can tell from the first game how the season's going to be. Greg Popovich is a coach of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, Portland's got a lot of things to prove, man. Hopefully they're not going to be pretenders and shine. But right now, I'm going to go with San Antonio Spurs. And that's my pick, man. Anything you guys got to chime in on?
Well, it's going to be intriguing. We'll see, man. It's going to be fun, man. I think this round will be a lot more exciting than the first round, and that's a lot to say, man, because that first round broke records. So I think that this year's NBA Finals is going to be very, 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 very good.
Yeah. I mean, this second.
I want to see Greg Popovich face looking real mad tonight.
He looks mad most games. He looks mad.
He's really looking mad tonight.
Yeah, I think they go jump out on the Spurs, man. I think they'll jump out on them. And like I said, I think the Spurs will be playing catch up the whole night. I think they're gonna punch them right in the mouth.
All right, cool. All right, well, we've got a pick, so let's go over our picks again. So I've been picking Miami. Anyone pick Brooklyn?
I did.
Okay, so Chris got Brooklyn. Who else you got, Keo? Who you got?
Yeah, I picked Miami.
That's me and Keo got Miami. Chris has got Nets. On the San Antonio game, I got San Antonio. Anyone else pick Portland?
Yeah, I did.
So both of you got Portland. Okay, let's make it interesting tomorrow. So we see what happens, though. All right, Hoop fans. Well, that's our take on it. I was hoping more people could come over. Unfortunately, it's not. But hey, but it's growing though. Yesterday it was just me and Chris. Kale joined us. So hopefully we can catch you guys tomorrow, same time. Hopefully the games will be great, and we'll catch you later. All right, peace.
Cheers.